Martin got a $36 million house. $36 million. Sometimes I just be in the driveway like, look at this ridiculous bullshit. House is this for eating and sleeping, Martin. But I be there every chance I get. Because you can do anything in a $36 million house. Whatever I want to do. You want to play pool? It's a pool hall. You want to go hang gliding? He got hang gliding. You want to play basketball? It ain't a basketball court with concrete. He got some soft stuff on it. Make a Negro jump accidentally. I'm just in the back.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tunji's podcast. I am your host, Tunji Taylor Lewis. Guys, I am happy today, and the reason why I'm happy is because fall. First of all, I don't even know what the official dates of seasons are or anything like that, but I'm just gonna assume that summer has ended and fall is here. And as far as Vancouver is concerned, fall is here because the weather is saying as much, and I'm very happy about that because fall is my absolute favorite season for outfits, right? So during the summer, I don't really have a lot of outfits. I don't have a whole lot of t-shirts, shorts, tank tops, that sort of thing. I don't really have I do have those things, but I don't have a bunch of summer fits ready, if you know what I'm saying. But in the fall, I think I just like the fall the best when it comes to outfits, because that's just when you can be at your most comfy. You can wear a bunch of coats, you can wear your hoodies, you know what I'm saying, you can wear your beanie, you can wear your toque, you know what I'm saying, you just feel nice and warm and comfy. And so that's why I'm really excited about the fall. Today, my subject, what I want to talk about is I want to talk more about something that I was talking about 2 podcasts ago, when I was talking about how people who are socially awkward tend to make for good leaders, right? And briefly at that time, I brought up Bill Gates, right? I was talking about how I watched his documentary, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into that and use him as this, the case study, if you will, for this discussion topic. And that is to say that Bill Gates is proof that you only need to be good at one thing. I'll say it again. Bill Gates is proof that you only need to be good at one thing, okay? So to further expound upon my point, the documentary I was watching, the interviewer asked Bill Gates, what is your biggest fear? And Bill Gates, took a little bit of time to think about it, and then what he said was, my fear is losing my ability to use my brain, right? And when I first heard it, I thought, wow, that's a pretty profound statement. Most people are, going to fear of, fear of death or fearing of speaking in front of a bunch of people. But his fear was, losing his brain. Interesting. But then thinking about it more, and after finishing the documentary, I was just like, you know what? It does make sense that that's his biggest fear. Because, listen, man, this guy, Bill Gates, his brain, Bill Gates has an all-time great brain, but he does everything else below average. And so to lose his brain would, more so than most people, would be to lose his ability to function as a human being, because his brain is so great that he's not good at anything else, right? When you watch this documentary, it's just oh my Lord, this guy Bill Gates, thank God that he's smart, because he can't he can't do anything. Socializing was the big thing, right? I said it in a couple of episodes ago. This guy Bill Gates, his parents literally had to consciously train him and consciously put him in situations where he had to socialize, right? As a kid, he would much rather stay in his room, read books all day. He'd much rather read books than socialize with his family, right? So his parents had to take him to therapy sessions and had to make him the greeter at events and all that type of stuff. If it weren't for his parents literally forcing him to be around people, he wouldn't really know how to talk with people, right? And you could just see it this, when Bill Gates is at, conferences and that sort of stuff, the types of jokes that he tells, you want to talk about dad jokes, the jokes that Bill Gates tells, he can't tell a joke to save his life. He'll just say something slightly witty. Those people who laugh at their own wit, but nobody else thinks it's funny? That's Bill Gates times a million, right? It's so this guy Bill Gates, that's a pretty obvious one. Like, he's smart, so he's not the best socially, so that's an obvious one. But then you go into it deeper, right? It's just like his voice, like his speaking voice is like, like, it just doesn't not sound pleasant to the ears, right? So I just said earlier how he said, like, his biggest fear was, like, losing his brain. But, like, this is how he actually said it. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, right? The interviewer goes, so, Bill, what's your biggest fear? He takes a moment to think about it. And he goes, my biggest fear is losing the ability to use my brain. I'm like, what? No, there's no way he sounds like this. My biggest fear is my ability to use my brain. I'm like, oh my gosh. So you mean to tell me that Family Guy, when they were making fun of him in that show, they weren't making fun of his voice? Like, I thought they were exaggerating or something. I thought that, like, they were just being mean because Family Guy's mean. No, like, they were being completely accurate with, like, the way he sounds. Like, his voice is goofy as hell. His voice is goofy as hell. Like, it's really, really difficult to listen to this guy talk. Like, the most significant shots of Bill Gates were him sitting silently reading books. Like, that's when you felt the most inspired. But, like, Bill, what do you like to do for fun? I like to play tennis. It's like, yo, man, this dude's voice. So he can't socialize. He can't speak. This dude can barely walk. Like, this motherfucker can barely walk. Like, there's some shots in that documentary of him, like, walking through a forest, and you could literally feel him thinking to himself, left foot, left foot, right. Like, he can barely walk. Like, he's like, clear, like it's no surprise that he's not coordinated, but he's so uncoordinated that walking is a chore for this guy. Like, it's just uncomfortable to watch this guy walk. Like, I wish I could show you an example, but like, obviously I have to sit here and, like, address the podcast in this format. But, like, y'all watch the documentary, watch the scenes of him walking through the forest with the interviewer. You'll know what I'm talking about. Dude can't walk properly. And the other thing, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, last but not least, look, if I come across as an asshole for saying this, if I come across as mean for saying this, I'm sorry, but it's the truth, so it's got to be said. He's not a handsome man. He's not a handsome man. Bill Gates is so unhandsome that at the age of, hold on, let me check, just let me look up how old Bill Gates is right now. Bill Gates, let me see. Bill Gates is 63 years old currently, right? Bill Gates is 63 years old. At 63 years old, he is at the most handsome that he has ever been. Which can tell you a lot about, like, how attractive this man is. Like, if you look back on throwback pictures of him when he was 20 years old, 30 years old, it is horrendous, dude. Back to his teenage years, to his adolescent years, it is horrendous. Like, he's the type of, like, nerdy look, like big glasses, braces, freckles, frayed hair. Like, it's the type of nerd that a cartoonist would come up with. Like, if a person who was drawing a cartoon was thinking to himself, what's the most nerdiest type of nerd that I could ever draw? You would end up with Bill Gates. Great. So and boy, thank God that he has his brain, and thank God that he got all that money, because I mean like, for all the reasons that I just listed, the dude's got nothing else going on for him. But he's good at one thing, right? And, like, that's sort of the point that I want to, like, bring it all back to. The dude is good at one thing, his brain. He is super smart. He is smarter than he's smarter than everybody. He's smarter than everybody, and he used that to propel himself to greatness. He used that to propel himself to, just unbelievable amounts of, financial stability, right? And that's why, like, I'm so inspired by the guy. It's just, despite being good at nothing else, he used his one strength to build a legacy for himself and to make this world a better place, right? So, yeah, that's sort of my podcast for today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.